When we picture spiritual enlightenment, the image is almost always the same. We imagine total isolation, fasting, and silence on a pristine, misty mountain. But the reality of 13th century Dai Viet was defined by blood, mud, and the terrifying violence of the Mongol invasions. Right in the center of that violence stood Tran Tung. He was a royal aristocrat and a military commander responsible for leading tens of thousands of troops into brutal combat. He navigated cutthroat royal politics. He fought desperate wars of survival. He ate meat and drank wine, and lived entirely submerged in the chaos of secular life. Yet the emperor revered him as a brother and specifically chose him to teach Zen to the crown prince. Today, history remembers him by his spiritual title, Tue Trung Thuong Si, the most brilliant Zen master of his era. A man commanding armies and eating meat achieved ultimate spiritual awakening. He proved that you did not need to escape the world to find absolute peace. During a lavish royal banquet, Tue Chung sat among the court and casually ate meat. Under the strict monastic rules of 13th century Buddhism, this was a severe violation. Queen Yuan Thang Sheng Tian Kam confronted him in front of the court. She demanded to know how a man who consumes the flesh of animals could ever hope to practice Zen and achieve enlightenment. His reply was blunt. The Buddha is the Buddha, and I am me. The Buddha doesn't need to be me, and I don't need to be the Buddha. This illustrates the core philosophy behind his defiance, pa chop, or shattering dogma, the deliberate breaking of rigid religious attachments. Obsessing over strict diets or endless sitting meditation creates a cage. To find actual freedom, you must shatter reliance on external rituals. Stripping away the physical rules forces a radical internal shift. The responsibility for enlightenment moves entirely away from performing the right actions and rests entirely on achieving total mental awareness. Tue Chung operated on a principle known as Buttni. Buttni means non-duality, which is the philosophical erasure of strict boundaries between supposed opposites. Here, the boundary between the sacred and profane collapses. There is zero difference between nirvana's heavenly peace and samsara's worldly suffering. A saint and a sinner live in the exact same world. The only difference is internal, a mind fully awake to reality. He called this lifestyle Huaguang Dongchen, or harmonizing with the dust. It requires a person to live fully in the secular world while constantly practicing Fan Quan Tu Ki, the rigorous act of looking inward to examine one's own mind. He compared this path to a lotus flower. A lotus doesn't grow on clean, sterile marble. It requires mud to bloom. Real spiritual strength has to be tested directly within the mud of civic duty, family obligations, and warfare. Hiding from society doesn't prove mastery. True mastery is standing in the absolute center of a chaotic world and maintaining a completely free, unshakable mind. Tue Chung passed this pragmatic, worldly philosophy directly to his elite student, Crown Prince Tran Kum, who would soon rule as King Tran Nhan Tong, and use these exact teachings to found the Truc Lam Zen sect. This marked the creation of Vietnam's first truly independent Buddhist tradition, built specifically for the realities of their nation. Here we see this engaged Buddhism mapped onto Dai Viet. Instead of citizens isolating in monasteries, they remained fully integrated. As the Mongols invaded, this psychological software allowed the brightest minds to fiercely defend their homeland without losing inner peace. Today, when overwhelmed by stressful jobs, by chaotic cities, or family pressures, our instinct is to escape. We book silent retreats or try to physically run away to find mindfulness. Tue Trung's 800-year-old lesson offers a harder but much more durable truth. You cannot find freedom by running away from your life. You find it by staying exactly where you are, standing firm, and completely changing how your mind perceives the world around you.